A blessed day, everyone. So today, we will continue our discussion on the Module 2 of the 2020 Online and Self-Guided PFA modules. Module 2, Calming Down and Managing One's Emotions and Thoughts, can be found on PFA Module page 29. Module Objectives. By the end of the session, students should be able to identify positive ways to manage one's emotion, practice calming down using a relaxation exercise, and be able to practice reframing one's introduction. So far, we've talked about your reactions to the pandemic or any form of disaster. Today, we will talk about how to manage your feelings. Activity number 1. On Module 1, I asked you to identify your different reactions and feelings towards the pandemic or any type of stressful situation that you may have experienced recently. Can you recall what those feelings were? So last time, I let you write the following. So we selected worried, scared, angry, numb, and sad. Today, let's talk about some ways to help you manage your feelings. Can you recall for me some of those feelings that you mentioned during the day? So when you feel this way, what do you usually do to help manage and get rid of that feeling? So these are the ways I manage my emotions. For being worried, I pray. When I'm scared, I watch funny things. When I'm angry, I shout and cry loud. When I'm numb, I feel quiet, and I keep quiet. When I'm sad, I talk to someone. So these reactions help make us feel better. They help us address our stress. But can we identify if there are reactions which will be considered as unhealthy ways of dealing with the stress? Which one would be considered as healthy ways of coping? What made you say that? Let's go back to our example. Please take a look at your own list of emotions from yesterday and list down the ways that you deal with the emotions. Can you identify if you are using healthy or unhealthy ways of dealing with the stress? Let's go back to our example. For being worried, praying is unhealthy. For being scared, watching funny things for me is healthy. For being angry, shout and cry loud for me is unhealthy. For being numb, keeping quiet sometimes is healthy. For being sad, talking to someone is healthy. Today, I want to remind you of a healthier ways on dealing with our feelings. And I will teach you 3 new and easy ways. Activity number 2. The 3 healthier ways of dealing with our feelings. Number 1. Counting backwards. If you feel that you are getting more upset or stressed or anxious or nervous, you can count backwards. You can ask to be excused, or you can just close your eyes or turn around and just silently count backwards from 10 until 1. While doing so, focus on your breathing and tell yourself to calm down, and calm down. So let's try it together.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Number 2. 3, 2, 1 senses check. In this method, I want you to quietly name 3 things you can see around you, 2 things you can feel, and 1 thing you can hear. While doing that, breathe in and out 5 times, but every time you do so, you add 1 more second to each inhale and 1 more second to each exhale. Let's try it. Number 3, reframe. This means that a feeling usually comes from a thought, and when we can change or reframe a thought, then we can change how we feel. For example, I feel angry because my mother called me lazy. I think my mother called me that because she doesn't see me working hard, or maybe because she's just really unfair all the time. I can refrain that by saying, my mother's just very stressed and tired tonight. She does not mean that. She does not mean what she says. By refraining the thought, I have changed the way I feel about the situation. Here are the other alternative activities that you can use with your emotions. Other breathing exercise, yoga poses, Tai Chi with humor injected into it, engaging in sports but in non-competitive manner, or dance moves using both slow and fast beats like the one in TikTok. Analysis. What do you feel? What do you think was the point of this activity? Can you share your thoughts? So this is the part where you're gonna tell me what do you feel about the activity. And then, what do you think was the point of this activity? Abstraction. Can you compare how you feel right now with how you feel before we started with the relaxation activity? On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, rate your level of stress before and after you started with the exercise. Did the level change? Scale of stress before the activity and the scale of stress after the activity. You can write your scales from 1 to 5, as 5 being the highest of stress and 1 being the lowest. Can you share? Application. How can you apply your newfound knowledge to your daily life? Upon discussing this module, what do you think? How can you apply it in your daily life? You can write it down on your piece of paper. Can you share your thoughts? Closing. As a way to close this session, do you know that people who do yoga close the session by saying Namaste? Namaste is a word which means bow to you. People in India use it to say hello or to bid each other goodbye. Namaste. Can you think of a short phrase that you can share with the class now to show our appreciation about being with them during online classes or modular classes? What will be a good phrase or word? How about this? Bless you. Let's go to the student's activity and output that can be found on PFA module page 45. Catch the ball. Here's what you're going to do for you to answer the question later. I want you to stay outdoor and play catch the ball with your siblings or your friend. If it's not possible for you to do this with someone, you can also just throw the ball towards a wall, then catch it. After throwing and catching the ball for a while, think, what am I catching? If you're not allowed to go outside or outdoors, you can do it inside. And you can use other things if you don't have a ball. Just catch and throw it. Imagine that what you're catching are feelings. Those were some of the feelings you caught during the lockdown, the pandemic, or any disaster. They are feelings of fear, boredom, anxiety, etc. Stop playing for a moment. You accepted the ball. Hold it. Look at it. Accept the feeling. Say to yourself, yes, I was feeling afraid. Or yes, I was feeling anxious. Catching your feeling. It is always good to catch what you are feeling. It is a normal and valid feeling. It's okay to feel not okay. But they are real and true only as the not so normal situation that triggers it. It's okay to not feel okay. It's a not so okay situation like the pandemic or any disaster. Now, I want to invite you to do some diaphragmatic breathing. Breathe in, inhaling of air, a very slight pause before you exhale. Let's do it. Breathe out. Breathe in, a very slight pause before you inhale. Breathe out, release all the feelings. Check your feelings. Were those feelings helpful to me? You'll probably answer with both yes and a no. That means that some of your feelings were helpful, but others were not. For instance, if you keep feeling fearful, do you need to stay in fear for long? How helpful is fear to you? How accurate or appropriate is feeling of anxiety now? How helpful it is to always be worrying about things. While thinking about this, breathe in, breathe out 5 times. Change the feeling. In this part, I want you to think of something else to help you feel better. This means that you can replace that feeling. Some feelings are productive and useful, while some may be unproductive and useful. It is because they are no longer appropriate to the situation. You have the power to change your feelings by actually changing your thoughts about the feeling. This process is called reframing. Where is the feeling coming from? Or you can ask, where is the ball coming from? Why did it hit you? How do you manage your feeling? You can manage it by changing the name of the ball into a feeling of gratefulness, understanding, happiness, and contentment. In other words, turning negative into positive. Then breathe in and breathe out 5 times. Analysis. You will be answering the following in a piece of paper. What do you feel? How do you think was the point of catching, checking, and changing your feelings? Next, what was the reason why you have to reframe your thoughts? Can you compare how you feel right now with how you feel before started with the activity? Do you see some changes? Are the feelings positive? What are these new changes in the way you feel at the moment? Use the column below, labeled with the word before on the other side and after on the one side. Under the before, write your feelings during the pandemic or disaster. Then under the word after, write your feelings at this very moment after going through the catch, check, and change exercise. Here is the table that you will answer. You can copy it in a piece of paper and you can start writing your answer. Before, you write your feelings during the pandemic or disaster, and then after, how do you feel right now? Application. You'll also answer the following in a piece of paper. How can you apply your newfound knowledge to your daily life? After going through the activity, I learned that the feeling that I caught could be... Next question. After a while, I checked the feelings and I realized that I could, and so I changed my feelings into the following. Write it down. Closure. As a way to close the session, repeat this line to yourself. Emotions can be caught like a ball. Check on the helpful or useful and accuracy and can be changed. Again, emotions can be caught, check, and change. Thank you very much for listening to our Module 2. Be sure to submit your output and coordinate to your teachers when and how to submit it. I'll see you again on the Module 3 of our PFA modules. Bye-bye!